Hey, what's up everybody? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and today I'm going to be doing some DC, some Marvel, and that's it. So some DC and some Marvel reviews. I want to start off with DC Universe Classics Collect and Connect, Build-A-Figure, whatever you want to call it, METALLO. Really cool figure. Been waiting to get one for a long time, so here he is. He stands just over 9 inches tall, so pretty good size figure. He's got some nice weight to him. He's really cool overall, but there are a couple problems. Let's start off by talking about the paint and the sculpt and the articulation all at once. The paint work is pretty much as good as it can be. There are a couple problems here and there. You know, it's not 100%. You have some spill over here and there, but just not really too much. It's got some nice wear effects going on in some places. You can see that on the elbows in particular and the wrists in terms of paint. The sculpting's good. You've got some scratch marks and some dings and dents throughout the entire figure. So overall, I'm really pleased with that. I wish the head looked a little bit more human. It just looks kind of weird. The shape overall, I don't care for it too much. And another thing kind of tied into that is it's not the classic looking METALLO. I kind of wish it was just a human METALLO, but it's still a really cool figure. So that aside, it's really nice. The head is articulated in standard form. He's got the rotation like that, plus the swivel at the top. As you can see, the swiveling kind of scratched the blue paint. Hopefully you can see that. But other than that, it's not too bad. The jaw does not open, though it does look like it does. It doesn't open. It's sculpted open, and you can see inside his mouth just a little bit. It's not solid there. He's got really nice paintwork on the eyes, too. While I'm here, I might as well point that out. But the mouth doesn't open. The chest opens, though. You can take off his chest plate, and you can see some kryptonite in there with some nice shading effects. Kryptonite itself is semi-translucent, so it's a really nice little detail they added, and that just snaps in place like that. I kind of wish they had a little groove in the circle so that it didn't spin around, but you can just put it in place. It's not too big of a deal, obviously. The ab articulation is just a gigantic, pose me however you want, ball joint. You can do whatever you want with it, spin it, bend it forward, back, huge range of motion every which way. So that's really cool. The shoulder swivels right here all the way around, and then it has the outside motion down there in that joint. It has a bicep swivel at the bicep, has a gigantic elbow hinge, and a wrist swivel right there. The fingers are not articulated, though they look like they are. They're not. I wish they were, but they aren't. So that does it for the arm articulation. As for the hips, it rotates in the hip joint, pivots out there. Really cool feature is that this part of the joint moves with the hip. That bronzy brass color actually rotates with the inner hip, so I love that detail. That's awesome. Has a thigh swivel built in, single jointed knee. You aren't going to get a whole lot of motion out of it, but a decent amount. And then an ankle. No rocker in there really. I mean, it kind of wiggles, but there's no place for it to go. So you just have regular ankle joint. So overall, pretty good articulation. It's not great, but it is pretty good. Now, his hips don't connect very well. They kind of pop off a lot, so I glued mine in. They still come out a little bit. I mean, I didn't glue them permanently. I tried to make them a little tighter, and it worked, but they still pop out a lot. And this shoulder is kind of split. Hopefully you can see that in there. Doesn't snap in any farther, but it's not a huge problem for me. So I'm really pleased overall with the figure. I recommend, if you want to spend the money, to definitely get it. It is a little bit pricey. It's usually right around the $60 mark, I think, on eBay. So if you're willing to pay that, you won't be disappointed. If you can get it for less than that, you'll definitely be happy with the purchase. It's a great figure overall, despite its few problems. It's really, really nice. And I do definitely recommend it. Let's get him in a quick pose before we say goodbye. There you go, give him a little wave. There you go. So that is METALLO, DC Universe Classics Collect and Connect. METALLO, Walmart exclusive. Getting harder and harder to find, so if you're looking for them, look harder now and buy them now before it gets to be too expensive and too rare. So there he is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews, more custom figures, and more other videos. And in the meantime, keep collecting.